Welcome back, everybody, to another Fuel Esports broadcast. It's a beautiful Friday evening here. We got some Overwatch. I'm Newt. I'm joined by Godly Parrot. How are you doing today?
I'm feeling wonderful, Newt, and I'm so excited for today's match. It's definitely gonna be a heated one.
Yeah, Fuel Esports versus Boston University. Looking forward to a good match here. And you know what? It looks like we might not have a forfeit this week. We might actually be able to play. So let's take a look at our roster to see who is going to be running out on Fuel here. We got Argo and Art bringing up that support line. Woody, Little Spark going to be your DPS line, and Scummy going to be on tank. Door likely to be around, maybe subbing in, maybe starting, not sure. As for the people in the room, they're ready. They're feeling good. I was chatting with Scummy and Art earlier. They were both feeling confident about this match. Take a look at our standings. We'll see where both these teams stand.
I believe Boston here is in 5th place with 2-2. Fuel here was sitting 3-1.
Fuel's 3-1 has an asterisk over it though. 2 of those wins are forfeits. So it is technically 1-1 as far as games are considered played.
We leave it up to the
No. We want to make sure that it's clear. Like, these two teams should be fairly evenly matched. They're both about even. Now, this is a pretty important one. Because it's an 8-person league, and because there's a team that's already pretty much forfeited out, getting 4 wins almost guarantees playoffs here. So Fuel looking to try to, clinch that in this game. Boston University looking to keep their battle alive, trying to fight for that 4th, 5th slot here. As it's going to be a close one. I'm very excited. Haven't been able to see some Overwatch, actual competitive matches, right? We saw that scrim, but it was a little one-sided. Not everyone was taking this seriously.
Okay,
so
calm down.
It was extremely one-sided, to be clear. And it was not everyone was taking it as seriously. They weren't, because the match is already finished, right? So excited to see how it's going to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a fun one to watch. Our team's ready and ramped up to go. I'm sure they're eager to finally get a taste of some action, some real hard-hitting work. And so we're going to take a quick short break before we come right back.
I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. eyes, it's not a dream. Close my 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 eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I wanna smile that I couldn't get. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Close my eyes, it's not a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the first map of the series. We are in Lijiang, and of course, we have our comps here looking for a bit of a brawl here on both sides. Woody, of course, switching to Sombra at the last minute there. May just being a really good champ pool.
Cinema Roll just going to spam Artemis out, and Artemis going to fall early in the neutral here to that Junkrat. A nice hack virus there from Woody to build up a little bit of arch, but it won't be finding too much, as we're going to have to play back a little bit as they wait for their main support to come back. Now, the Ram here just spreading, trying to spy check the best he can, clearing out these areas. Zarya has quite full charge. Shield comes down, looking to get some damage done. Door ends up picking off this Junkrat. This is the map where these close-range duels are really going to be the most important. Is that, you know, this map is just so tight corridors. There's very, very few places to really be able to play. Door taking a little bit low there, gets saved by Artemis. As Fuel looks to be getting the flip. They actually even getting the first cap there, despite the fact that they got first pick on support. Off of that pick onto the Junkrat. Nice damage by Door here, doing so much. Woody dangerously low though in the back.
Fuel's doing a really good job here of just playing around these corners, playing, you know, off of this LOS here. As it does see Cinnamon Roll, Star is going to take out Elfie and, sorry, Artemis and the Door.
5K for Cinema Roll almost. It is going to be a 5K for Cinema Roll there. Or 4K, I think, actually, yeah. Lulu Star got one. Very good retake there by Boss University. Now they're going to have 2 ultimates online. The big thing about this Moira is they're going to have a Coalescence a lot faster than this Kiri's going to have her ult. So you can pull it a little earlier. Even if it's a weaker ult, it just won't be contested. You just see the Coal come out here doing a lot of value as Cinnamoroll and the rest of Boss University just stomp into the base of Fuel. They're going to be able to get that, but Woody on the back's going to get a little bit of a back cap here, but she won't be able to get too much. She's going to get spammed out by that Ramatra Fire. Both teams are about 10% behind on beat here. Artemis coming up on this Kitsune. The beat's going to be the only answer to that. You'll have Annihilation and Tire here, but an early grab comes out for Scummy. That's going to be a clean wipe for the side of Fuel. Now they're looking to refight this, but both supports being down means that this Ramatra just doesn't have any sustain in this fight. Scummy low, but he should be able to be kept up as Artemis is nearby, picks off Cinema Roll, and Fuel will get that cap right back.
Fuel doing a really good job there of just managing those ults and playing around each other, especially when you're going into such a dangerous DPS like Junkrat on these close corners and angles. Fuel here able to play around this store, looking to kind of give him as much. Tune comes out, Death Blossom comes out as well, gonna get bubbled in, but he's gonna catch the Reaper there, sorry, the Ramatra at the end there, catching the double on Cinnamon Roll. Fuel here gonna take a bit of a back step as they did manage to take a good chunk of Boston's kind of really just tempo here, but now they've got 4 ults coming in.
Fuel set up for a really good spot here, though. You know, there is 4 ults beside of Boston University, but you have a beat to respond to these, and you have an EMP, and that's going to be a 5-person EMP for Woody, and Fuel looking to just dominate this control point here as they keep this push up. Karma, a nice trade onto Door, though, is crucial. Woody looks to try to spam out this Reaper, but they're going to be able to reset. The spy check just a little bit there, looks to get a rehack on this pack, as beat is still up for both teams. Now this Annihilation is really going to be the true battle one. This, you know, Tire's been cooking for a while, but it's just hard to find value in a Tire, especially when there is an ult. Now this Coalescence comes out, a nice beat response by Argo, but it's going to be a better beat for the side of Boss University. However, Cinderroll already went down, so Fuel able to kite this out. Now Annihilation comes out, and this Ramatra just starts to punch, pulls out the fist, finds Argo as he keeps on pushing, but he goes too far. Scummy gets that trade, has this grab now. With Door falling, it might be hard. It's a 4v3 here for the side of Boston University, but this Lucio's just getting beamed. He just jumps out in the open against a full charge Zarya. Scummy taking a blow. A nice Suzu from Artemis there keeps him alive. A Cinnamoroll gonna fall as well. Karma ends up getting the better of Artemis, so it's just Argo solo healing here. But Scummy looks to try to keep this going. Ult out. Nice grab. Is going to catch one, but that's all you need as they get the cap. It's going to be last-second touches. Ram gets back in time as well as the Lucio. A nice boop onto Scummy. But with Artemis, should be able to come back soon with that Suzu. Scummy gets Hamster Mochi as the Ram falls as well, and Fuel look to get this round.
I mean, Zarya just has so much sustain on this point there. Just taking so much space, being able to just clear down those squishies. Really not having much to be able to kind of contest her, especially in terms of defense. They tried to play LOS, but it beams you too fast.
Yeah, and that really is just going to come down to very, very, very well used ults by Fuel. They rotate their ults perfectly. So, you want to solo fight off of just a graph. Then you use the Blossom plus the Curie ult just to secure it. Then you use the beat to respond, use an EMP early, push them out. And then you save the beat to respond to their push with the Coalescence, with their beat. It's just better for Fuel because by the time they start to survive, an overextension by the Ramatra of Boston University means that Fuel will end up getting the better of that. The grab comes up for Scummy as they're going to look to keep this going. But now the Junkrats switch off over towards the Casty because Junkrat just doesn't have much value over here on Garden because there's too much open air door sticking to this Reaper. Reaper Ditto. The only difference is going to be this Cassidy.
Yeah, Fuel here now looking to defend this point, looking to cap first as well as Boston are trying to take some space here, looking to look for a pick, looking to take some damage here, just having to contest this Zarya and this Reaper though in this fight. It looks like we are going to see a boop there from Argo to take out the Reaper, which will lose a lot of sustain for Boston. Hamster though does clear out that Woody in their backline as Fuel is going to speed in here, trying to burn out this defense form and hopefully sustain longer in this fight. He just doesn't have that kind of defense that he can. Has managed to get himself alive with shield up here, but Zarya just sitting at full charge for this whole fight, being so dangerous. He will go in the back line with Hamster to take out Argo. Woody traded as well. Scummy though, it looks like Fuel's cleaning up Boston's backline. It's another overextension from Ramatra.
Also the Coalescence, especially just in a lost in a 2v5 here, as Scummy to keep him alive. Thor finishes that kill onto the Ramatra. Fuel, they keep the cap. They got the flip early on, so they've been having point counting up. Now it's up to 40% already. What are you looking for? Something 75 to this EMP, just looking to force out, get a little bit bubbled away just to be able to safely escape. 83 now to this EMP. It's going to be a problem for the side of Boston University as this is the virus just ever so slightly there, and that's rough because you have that virus replication perk. You really want to be hitting these viruses on these big targets that are hacked. Now, Soroshi has a beat, a pretty big, significant lead over Argo here. But they could do an early beat push if they've been ult tracking correctly here. But Argo going to be able to get the beat in time. They're just going to save this up. Beat comes out, but it's nicely responded by a Kitsune. But it's hard to fight this. Argo pushes Hamster Mochi off the map, and Argo could invest a beat if need. But this Kitsune from Fuel is just enough. The beat came out early. They wanted an aggressive beat push, but if they wanted that, they had to go earlier as Fuel up to 80% already. And Boston University, they're on these last-ditch efforts. They have 3 ultimates to do so. The Coalescence is here, but there's a beat, there's an EMP, there's a grab, and there's a Death Blossom all fighting into it. Lulu Star unable to build anything close to us. Ooh. A big pick onto Woody, though. A nice flashbang headshot from Cimarol means that Fuel's push might just be pushed short.
They do have the ability to take some space. Grab will go. A beat will come too. We're going to see Death Blossom potentially come out. Right there, you saw it, folks. Just clearing out. Annihilation comes, but a second too late as now he doesn't have anyone with him. And Fuel's just going to hold this point.
And Cap get that first map there. Nice 2-0 win with 100-0 second half, or second point. Fuel coming out lightning fast on this first attack. Doing fantastic here on this control. They're going to look to keep this up as the comp ends up working out. The Junkrat for Cimarol was really good on Control Center, but afterwards it just felt like they could not get their footing. They just didn't have any answers, and Fuel's ults were just better in the end of the day. They go for a beat push. It's responded by a Kitsune, and the Kitsune outlasts that beat health. They're able to keep themselves alive as in the end, Fuel take that one.
I think Fuel just did a really good job managing their resources better, having much more sustain in that fight, and paying attention to those cooldowns. I mean, they're ready for those ults. They're countering them as soon as they happen, right? They're on the top of it, where I think we saw there from Boston, a bit late, a bit less of a reaction, especially with that eliminating the Woody there. Annihilation didn't come out for a good 10 seconds. When you had that advantage, you're at 99%. You got to use as many resources as you can to try and bait out the other team's tools.
Can't use it. He was stuck behind the wall with the grab. The way the grab was placed, he actually got stuck behind the wall, so his whole team was falling. I don't know if that was, it may have been planned by Scummy there. It was just, entrance grab. But how it ended up working, yeah, Ram got stuck behind that wall, was not able to influence the fight, so his whole team just ended up falling. Couldn't throw a shield down, couldn't block, couldn't do anything. And then the Annihilation came late, but 3 of his team had already died. It was a last-ditch effort. Fuel take control handedly.
Definitely, though, a great showing. And another 2 or potentially 1 map to go as we take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Heading to Esperanza. Boston University have made quite a few roster switches. Now, I believe Lulu had to leave, so Hamster Mochi is going to be heading towards DPS. Kindness subbed in for Hamster Mochi, and Elo is subbed in for their Ramatra player. So now you have a Hazard, you have Emra, Genji. Interesting to play a Hazard Brig Ana backline. Now, Brig Ana is very strong with Winston, really. It's the main dive backline. I think, honestly, I do think Kiri Lucio is still better, but it's not bad. But with Hazard, you're not as much of a dive character as you think you would be with that leap. You're more of a brawler. Coming over towards this Eva as they're Fuel basically playing the meta comp minus a Tracer. So just like Soldier Emra kind of balanced out, but going the Sombra route instead of the Tracer as, you know, obviously Woody is a Sombra player, right? Now this is the map type that Woody loves to play Sombra on. It's the map type that Woody usually is subbed in for. It's gonna be taken really low, that mech extremely low. Woody on the back line, nice virus there, forced out as Dorg able to finish off that kill. Scummy did lose his mech though in the meantime. So 1-for-1 here as Woody yet again on the back line as this Sombra. Have to be careful though, a short translocator means she will be spammed out by Cinnamon Roll. Elo, so extremely low here. Use that wall just to protect themselves as they're kept alive here. Dorg gets that pick and Fuel are in the advantage.
Fuel doing a really good job of just coordinating here. You saw with that pick on to the Ana, just calling that out, seeing those pings flying across the board. It looks like Elo here is low, but Cinnamoroll will take out Door up top, and that will allow for Fuel, for Boston to take a lot of space. He's going to shove out that Kiri, force that TP. Brigitte is just in there trying to stop this D.Va from really taking much space, as Cinnamoroll is now taking out another DPS here.
Crucial thing though, Or is 94 to the overclock. Hamster Mochi is 46 to that override protocol. So a little bit of an advantage here in, or quite a big of advantage here in these ults for the DPSs of each team, main DPS specifically. But Fuel do end up losing that fight as Gummy falls. Now he's going to switch over to the Mauga.
Yeah, I mean that Mauga just shreds tanks. You just want to bully the other guy and hope that your team follows up here. As I think we're seeing as well, like this Hazard, he's been below 20% health so much. Tuni Rush comes out, Fuel here with overclock, looking to catch this Genji out, but he does, as he does have Dragon Blade, he's going to retreat here, just put so much pressure onto that backline, allowing for Hazard to take so much space here, as now their team is on their own with fighting a Genji. But we are going to see that reactive deflect come out.
Fuel invests 2 ults and get nothing. Argo as well beats only 2 people. Fuel, the ult economy in shambles all of a sudden as the rally comes out for Kindness here. Dashes up Thor. Let's try to keep this up as their tank is falling. Kindness is kind of a pseudo tank, but with Scummy coming back with that Mauga, should be able to finish it off. Never run Hamster, Mochi, and Cinnamoroll trade out. Now, just Argo and Door versus the rest of the DPS of Boston University as Fuel finally get control. But again, the ult economy, you know, you saw an overclock and a Kitsune used just to kite out a Genji blade. It was a nano blade, but then a beat comes out from Argo. It doesn't save Artemis in time. It just catches Door as Fuel. Now they're looking to try to build up an EMP. They have one. What are you going to have to try to hit a big EMP here if they want any hope? As they're fighting into an override protocol. There's no nano on it though, which is kind of a crucial combo here. Problem is, you know, for Boston University, both their DPS want that nano really bad. Now, you'll see, you know, over a protocol, you'll see this downpour coming into a big EMP as Fuel find 5. Well, Woody, can Fuel follow this up? It looks like they will be able to as Argo and Scummy get some trades. Scummy a little bit low here, though. You see Thor slide on in, gets that finish kill on Karma. Now, Thor falls to that grenade in the face from Hamster Mochi as they look to kite this one out, but they will eventually fall to Argo. Fuel get control, and they're going to look to try to get towards this checkpoint. They should at the very least get the lead here in meterage, but they will not be able to get a checkpoint. Mauga switch, it's going to be a Mauga mirror.
This is going to be a fun duel there, just to see them kind of, whoever can last the longest and their team survive the longest, as both those Maugas are just going to shoot at each other and hope that the other one falls. But Fuel here, we are seeing Ana playing around, keeping their Brigitte alive, as Fuel here, we already see this fight go in.
Mauga gameplay.
Do you see that cage though, as Fuel does have the advantage as Mauga, but he just gets shredded by.
Thor pulls the clock as well, gets his one, as yeah, the Mauga is going to fall to Scummy. A nice stomp, counter stomp there to, you know, stop play of Boston University's Mauga from going to aggressive. Door picked up a final 2 ending picks here. A little bit of a stagger. Fuel got that checkpoint, and now they're looking to keep this one. Scummy just went on a sled. Yep, he's having fun. You weren't ready for that one, were you? He showed me it before the game, so I expected it.
I saw it too.
You can cage out of that, by the way. You can use that and then cage halfway through. Any abilities.
Funny.
What he looks to try to get onto the Soj of Hamster Moji, switches off this Emra, wants that ability to maybe match out the Soj a little bit better. And now, did not mean to hit the virus on the Soj, but it works out as Woody gets a double kill here in the neutral. Now, they did invest the Tsune Rush, but it doesn't matter as Fuel look to keep this marching forward. They're now up to 101 meterage and counting as they look to keep this going, and it does feel like this round has completely slipped out of Boston University's favor, out of their grasp. They had it, but the switch to Mauga from Scummy meant that Fuel was just able to continuously control point pressure. Elo not been able to find the answer yet, as the cage advantage here for Fuel is going to be quite large, as well as Overclock coming up. EMP as well have a beat to respond to anything Boston University does, which is going to be this Nano Blade likely coming out from Cinema Roll. A nice sleep there onto Scummy. Nanoblade comes out, but do they invest the beat? They do not. It doesn't come out in time to save Artemis, and Woody also doesn't catch it. But Woody and Door find 2 trades. It's 2 for 2 here. But with the tank of Boston University still alive, Door is going to have to make some miracles happen. He's done so much. He's found kindness already, but Cinema Roll will finish that off at 140 meters, just a second before that full cap. Fuel will fall.
I think Fuel here need to be smart about this counter push coming into their side here.
The ults versus 1, I feel like they can just kind of throw.
Yeah, but do you want to use your ults too early and then have that respawn timer come in a bit too late and then unfortunately force this match out even longer, which is not what Fuel wants.
Most importantly, they just need to make sure not to win these fights and not give over trades if they do end up when they do win. Woody in trouble. A nice Mauga cage here in mid. Kindness picks off Woody as Elo is going to out-damage Scummy there, and Fuel fall. The Mauga trade goes the way of Boston University. They save this overclock and they save this EMP. But the side of Boston University are going to have bot control. Forward spawns have been turned off for Fuel. A nice trade on the kindness there from Door means that Fuel, if they take this one early, they could be in for a good fight. Especially considering 3 of them are already back. Door is going to be a little bit late, but he has that double side coming out of spawn. They should be able to stop this checkpoint from coming in. Scummy looking to do a rotation around mid. They do not want to stop the checkpoint. They don't really care. Woody in danger, but they rotate towards the high ground. However, 2 of their players are split off, but you do see there's a Mauga up on high ground behind you, so all of a sudden the map is completely flipped in favor of Fuel. Kindness comes on in, gets hacked up though. And Cimarol dashes in and will find Artemis and Door, and Fuel starts to fall. The EMP comes in a 3v2, but Scummy found 2 with the charge. 2 have fallen. Kindness finds 1 Cimarol as well. It is so hard to follow the kill feed with this bug.
Yeah,
I am so annoyed at Overwatch right now. But in the end, Boston University get the better of it. Now this overclock is still here. However, you have a Kitsune. Argo does not have that beat yet. You have 4 ults for the side of Boston University as Karma switched over to that. Kiriko has built up a Kitsune rush now. Boston University are in a very, very good position to be able to take the lead here and maybe even take the map, as they can just need to use these ults slowly, make sure that they answer out correctly. If they look for an early push, or early push with either of them, they won't have an ult to respond. There won't be a beat in response to that Kitsune. Now Fuel has to just kite this one out as best as possible. Argo will almost fall. A nice Suzu, and he can skate his way away. Door pulls out that clock, finds 1. As Door looks to swing out and continue this damage. He will not be able to find the Lucio who's skating away, but he's right in the open as Fuel stop the bleeding. They win that fight. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining. Door moving his mouse around, just making sure everything is good. There is you have a Kitsune and you have a High Noon for the side of Boston University. You can take this close fight with Door. You might be in a little bit of trouble as Hack comes out onto Woody. Cimarol though looks to get a lot of damage on. The right clicks are good, but Woody able to get away. Just looking to build up this EMP as quickly as possible. Hack does not go through. Overrun is missed by the side of Elo, but it catches Argo.
Fuel here now looking to press in. We are going to see that Kitsune, or sorry, that Kiri get, use that Suzu to get out. Door's looking to catch this Genji out, but gets body blocked by this Mauga. But it looks like Delphi is able to finish off the Mauga for her team as Genji diving this back line, but probably won't be able to sustain
Nice
off
Suzu
all 3,
there,
but does
will be
take
able to
out
pick off
Artemis.
Artemis. He's going to fall now. It doesn't have the dash. Does fall to Door. But a nice pick on the Artemis means that Boston University have 1 fight here. They have a cage, and they have a High Noon, and they have a Kitsune. You're fighting into a beat and a cage. The EMP coming up soon as well. And if Door gets a neutral pick with that railgun, that might just be the nail in the coffin. as 33 seconds. It's going to be a full overtime push for Boston University if they want any hope. They're going to have a touch pretty safely. They will have one fight unless they get traded out here. Woody finds one. Cage, pop for Elo. EMP on top as well as the beat. And Fuel look to end this here and now. Woody on the back finds Karma with a nice hack. Looks to find that virus. But a big Suzu from Karma means Woody will fall. Scummy's Cage falls as well as Boston University look to keep fighting in this small room. Scummy is going to be dangerously low as his team is not here. He's likely to fall. He's trying to stall as much as possible. Thor forced to dash back here. He has that clock, but he does not want to pull it. It's going to be an advantage fight for Boston University. They're going to win that one out. Argo, a nice stagger from Kindness. Means that now Fuel, there's around 2 fights. One good fight and then a touch for Fuel likely if they lose. Let's see what happens here. Blade, Beat, and High Noon here versus a Clock and a Kitsune Rush.
Fuel here now on the defense. They've got to be able to find a way to get an opening. We've got this overtime. They want to keep the other team off this objective and survive as long as can.
Opening
Flush out
kick
these
by Door though.
huge kills. That
Kitsune comes out from Artemis and Fuel try to counter this out. A nice beat though by Cinnamoroll. They don't have a beat or a nice blade. They don't have a beat to respond, so Cinnamoroll can find 2. Woody finds Karma. It's a 2-4-2 as now it's a 3v3 left. Tommy looks to chase out Pun. Cinnamoroll, but gets absolutely ankles broken as Cinnamoroll and Elo end up winning this, and Fuel are now forced into a last fight scenario on this map. Overtime push for Boston University. 30-meter lead for Fuel, but it does not matter. This is last fight for either team. The ults are not there for Fuel. There's a Cage for Elo and a High Noon. This is all Boston University. Cage comes out. Fuel going to be in trouble unless Elo can keep them alive. High Noon finds 2, both supports and Fuel squander away the lead as Boston University come back and take Esperanza. Unless Fuel can look for these staggers. If they can get another touch, Woody has to stay alive. EMP with this chase, this deep play. Fuel are likely not going to have anything. Argo has the roulette. They do have a touch, but with no ult and no hope, Fuel is going to be in trouble. I feel like it's just going to be Boston University. And again, I mean, now I thought they wouldn't have a touch. They do. Scummy so low. He gets pooped out of the way by Kindness there. As Woody has EMP in 10. Fuel just need to survive for this EMP. If they can get it, they can win, but Hamster Mochi and Cinnamoroll find the picks. EMP comes out. It does not get Suzu. It did get Suzu'd. What a Suzu by Karma will get Boston University the map, and we're tied up 1 apiece.
That was, I gotta say, the luckiest Suzu I have ever seen.
Now, you see Woody go up in the air, right? You saw the translocator get thrown up, so it's a good Suzu because you're expecting it, and you know how long it lasts. It's specifically to dodge that ultimate, to dodge, that. Dodge that EMP, and it does exactly that. Cinnamoroll. How did we have this guy on junk?
I will say, I think we talked a bit earlier when Fuel got that initial push to their backline, debating whether or not to keep those ults or use them. But I think it would have been better had they used all of those ults at those times to secure that in.
I think it's hard to guarantee that fight. I think saving your ult's fine. It's just they used them in kind of staggered situations. They ended up losing the cage fights a lot of the time, which ended up just giving Boston University the lead. The switch to that Kiriko for Boston University. I mean, Kiri Lucio, it's the strongest god for a reason, right? It stops so much of the value that Fuel's comp could have. Dor was finding these opening picks, but the clocks were not finding too much value as Mochi started to respond a little bit. Cinnamoroll was such a problem in the backline as well. I mean, Dor would just get dashed on, and then Artemis would force to be TP back to save. Art would then end up dying. Fuel struggling on Esperanza. We'll see what map pick. It's their map pick, and we'll see what bans. Zarya is going to be back on the table, so it's going to be on a character he's a little bit more comfortable on. Interested to see if Fuel can take the lead or where this is going to go, because we're tied up 1 apiece.
And that's right, folks. We're going to be right back with a quick break. We're going to keep the action going.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Outback. We're in New Junk City, and we're here for an absolute blast. All right, I'm done.
I regret giving him the talking stick. I am so sorry, everyone.
Don't be sorry.
Anyways, we're back on New Junk City. Boston University took the last map, in case you were not aware. So it's a 1-1 series. Bans Kiriko and Ramatra. Interested to not see the Genji ban for the side of Fuel, because I feel like Boston University was really running them over on that. They're back to this Sombra Reaper Diva. I said Lucio Baptiste, but it's going to be Juno Bap here instead. Argo.
Interesting.
More healing, a little less, utility. It's going to be a Mauga thing. Mauga for Boston University again. Mauga going over towards the Reaper and a Emra yet again, but they're back towards this Lucio Moira backline, which just doesn't do anything, to be honest.
That's going to be Woody and Artemis getting 2 picks off here. It looks like Boston's just falling apart on this first point, as we now just see the whole team crumbling.
This is going to be a big stagger, preferably, but Woody might fall. Never mind, good bubble there.
Very
a
intentional
nice,
stagger.
solid
Very
stagger there on the kindness there, as you will get this first cap. It's flashpoint reminder, so this thing's going to start to tick really, really fast. As Emra throws that nade out, trying to get some poke down. Scummy has no energy, so he's going to be gets 13 off that bubble, so not ideal there, as have to play this corner, play his life. Wraith forced from door there, but he's
no
quite
bubble.
ahead.
Maybe one now, but
now Cineroll forced to use their Wraith. His door does a lot of damage. This Mauga going to be in trouble, as well as this Moira is just going to fall into neutral. Fades away, is barely alive. Now the Emra, the next target, but Door turns right back towards this Moira. Door is done playing these, aim heroes. Why not just click the left click button in their direction and kill them?
what? How dare they? With Fuel here doing a really good job. I think Elo there, or Elo, just hyper-focused on that Baptiste just a bit too much. Quite wasn't aware of his team there. And now, Fuel, they're going to have Death Blossom. They're going to be playing super aggressive out of this door here. They really want to stagger this as much as possible, deny any kind of space.
The lead on every ult except for that tank ult, right? Mauga's going to build his ult a little bit faster, so this cage can be big, but Door picks off kindness. Now you don't have your speed, you don't have the healer, as the Door uses his Death Blossom with a bubble on top, finds 3 off of that, as Elo's going to fall as well, and Fuel 100-0 this first point. Now, they keep so many ults. They only use a Death Blossom to win that. They're fighting into just a Coalescence and a Mauga ult. They have a Juno ult, Orbital Ray so strong, as well as a window, which doesn't really have much value with this comp, I can't lie. It's going to be mostly a healing window for Artemis, and maybe Artemis could be the real damage dealer. You have that EMP for Woody. You're coming up on a grab, but Scummy's a little bit away. He's 20% there, as Mauga starts to poke in the neutral here, but Door picks off Hamster Mochi, who's struggling here on this venture.
EMP here.
Orbital Ray comes out in response to this Coalescence. Door picks off Cinema Roll. But his Orbital is going to be able to be kited out pretty easily here by the side of Boston University, I think. Kindness is going to fall, as instead they invest the cage in a 1v5.
EMP, though, does go out to just...
It almost works out, actually. Karma and Mochi find so many trades, but EMP on top means that they will end up falling. Fuel get control, but it's not a clean one. I thought the cage was a waste, and in the end, Fuel ended up still winning the fight, but it was a lot closer than you think it would have been. Now Artemis looks to keep the pressure up with this Baptiste, using those Exo Boots just to survive, be as slippery as possible. A nice grab here, but Cineroll is going to be caught in there.
Window.
Artemis windows just be able to keep that up. Kindness, nice trade though, so Fuel not as clean as they wish. Tectonic Shock comes up for Hamster Mochi, but just nothing is going to be found off of that one.
Unable to take the point here. Not even able
Just
to
gonna
touch.
reset.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will notice is that Boston is kind of adapted to this Zarya. You notice that she's not getting nearly as much charge in these earlier fights. They kind of play a bit more patient around her. She's having to be more playing it reactively to these big plays, which, is still definitely a valid play style. But we are seeing, though, just Fuel looking to disrupt in this fight, build that ult charge very early in this fight, play sustain for as long as they can, hold this point for as long as they can, but they are going to go around the back here.
Or rotate over towards Coast here as Thor pulls out the special move and he starts to spin on them. It will be a 1-for-1, but the pick onto the Lucio is much, much bigger, especially when that Lucio is 92% to that beat drop. It's going to roll. He'll end up picking off Door. The lamp is forced by Artemis, but Argo, Woody, and Scummy find their neutral trades here as Fuel get this second cap 100-0 as well. They're looking to perfect this map here, making it sure that that last map, losing that one was a fluke. They want this one dominant.
Fuel doing a really good job here of just keeping themselves in this fight, playing around these ultimates, playing really smart, getting good picks when it matters too. You know, these kills can be the winner decider of these fights. And it looks like Boston here. We're going to see Door playing a bit around this flank, getting a surprise damage on that Moira, forcing her to fall back here as Fuel. Scummy going to be able to take out Elio really here early in this fight, and now just running down the rest of the team, staggering them out, hopefully to get this point as we do see the last one alive here on
This as well as the rest of Boston University fall in tow. They just have yet to find their footing. They now have a beat push, but they're into a window and an EMP, so they're going to have to play to counter this EMP. But after the EMP, there's going to be a Graviton to deal with. Thor on the side. I mean, he is the flanking Reaper for a reason. He's doing so much here. As EMP comes out, Kindness got caught. You cannot afford to get caught as the Lucio as Fuel are going to take this fight yet again, and it's going to have to be quick resets. Looking for trades if they can from the side of Boston University, but I don't see any hope for that. Elo switched over to the Zarya to try to get some equivalent value versus Scummy, but it does not find it. Now you're fighting into that Death Blossom, you're fighting into a Zarya ult and a window. You do have your beat though, because you did not dodge out on that EMP, which was pretty crucial there for Kindness. Answer Mochi takes off Woody though, goes a little too aggressive. EMP or beat, sorry, rather. The grab comes out with the window on top as Fuel looks to keep this going, but it's actually two trades towards one. Karma got a nice trade onto Artemis. Now Door looks to keep this up as the Coalescence comes out. Scummy will pick off Hamster Mochi as Woody finds one. Karma picked off both backliners of both supports of Fuel, but it doesn't matter as Fuel take New Junk City 300-0.
They came back with a vengeance, especially on that last point too. I mean, they had the switch to Zarya, but she would just walk into the other team, especially not even like paying attention to those cooldowns and just getting dumpstered, unfortunately.
Or the Reaper is going to find so much value there. You know, Dor, you think of him as this Sojourn, as this, capacity, this probably going to be Elmero player, right? Like this hit scan player, but when push comes to shove, he understands the game so well from how high ranked he is, that the Reaper, a character that kind of more thrives based off of knowledge and knowing how to play around your cooldowns and stuff, he can do so much work on that, and he showed it there in that map. He showed it on the first map as well. Fuel, they're up 2-1 in this series now. It's going to be Boston University's pick. We'll see if they can climb this one back to a Game 5, because that one's going to be a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I think Reaper as well just is in a really good spot as a champion right now, especially with these healing nerfs, having just that sustain in these fights and just so much damage onto those
Boston
tanks.
Might even invest a Reaper ban because it really they don't have an answer to it, right? They banned the Kiri out. They're the ones trying to play the Lucio team. It's Zarya ban's already been invested. It's either you take your Sombra ban or you take a Reaper ban here. I think it has to be a DPS ban. Interested to see what Boston University goes for. We'll have to take a short break before that, though, as we wait for them to load into Game 4.
There's so much more that I can get. Let me wander when we go to bed. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I wanna smile that I couldn't get. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. not a dream. Close my eyes, it's not a dream. Money got me like. Money got me like. Money got me like.
Well, welcome back to our fourth map of
He didn't
the
do an
night.
accent this time. I'm so happy.
Well, because, you know,
I gave him the talking stick, and I didn't hear a
sometimes I
bad
learn my
Australian
lessons.
accent.
Well,
so.
it was for the bit. I'm allowed to
Woody's
do
on
bits.
Soldier.
Oh my goodness, what?
I mean, the Sombra is banned, and it's not a great May map, so Woody decides to put that aim to use and goes to the Soldier 76, the aim hero.
You see Widow here too.
Door to the Soldier. This is a good Widow map, right? Widow and Freya. It is hit scan, hit scan, hit scan, hit scan. You do see that Mizuki on a backline from the side of Boston University versus Kiri Lucio for the side of Fuel. Bizaria versus Domina, both playing ground tanks on the map that is dive tank favored, so Cimarron now going to switch off of the Widow over towards the Genji. I like that. It's just an opening pick Widow looking for that Elo. The double dance here trying to fight out on Scummy, but Elo is going to lose out on this neutral fight even against a zero charge Zarya. As Argo picks off Karma, Door, a nice clean headshot to Kindness as now the side of Boston University are forced to reset as both their supports have fallen as well as their tank. Cimarron going to head back to spawn. I don't know if he's going to stick on this as it's kind of hard to play Genji into the Zarya, but to be doing so, sticking to this. The Freya for Hamster Mochi, I'd like it. It's, you know, because there's really long sight lines here. You can play out of the effective range of a Sojourn, but Freya is just definitely nerfed, right? 2 shots does not kill, and 2 bolts doesn't kill anymore, so.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an Ashe here. Definitely has a utility and benefit from this long range, but Sojourn here
That-
just shutting
That
down.
disruptor shot just did 1,000 damage, I think. As Thor, Scummy's just gonna push deep into the sidewalk. Hamster Mochi falls on coast there to Woody's melee somehow, as Woody starts to sprint in. And we're playing Soldier, that's all right, that's for sure. But the cart somehow is over here.
Yeah, Genji
Cimarron just completely got the cart past the underpass, so now it's going to be the side of Boston University. One fight away likely, but they're going to have to still clear past here. They got the cart past, but they have to walk through still. They have to walk through this waiting arms of Fuel where they have so much poke. They have the visor, they have a overclock, and they have a Kitsune. Kitsune early by Artemis, just going to be forcing out a lot of cooldowns. It's Kitsune and a visor. Woody starts to shred the health of Boston University. No trades are going to come. Moira forced to fade away, but cannot as Karma is back on this Moira.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
I mean, maybe just because the DPS aren't really finding the picks that they need to, can get in and help, but is that what they need?
Yeah, Kindness coming up on this Sanctuary, trying to find some value from that. You do have the Bola shot from Hamster, as well as the Panopticon coming up soon for Elo. Fuel, though, they have a grab, they have this overclock, and they'll have a beat coming up soon. We're slow clicking this beat a little bit here, but Fuel definitely still advantage onto these ults. Coalescence comes out for Karma here, but the map has been flipped. Both the Sojourn and the Soldier are from behind, but Cimarron and Elo mean they find out Scummy, they find Argo, as both Woody and Door are forced to reset.
Fuel here now in a really good spot. A minute left on the service point. They are going to retreat back here and wait for their team. We are seeing Cinnamon Roll just having this Soldier, but is able to stay alive with the help of that health field there. Now they did cap that first point, so
they had to give up first point though because of the fight going the way of University. Woody sprints out in the open, just gets beamed by Elo there as they look to keep this push going. Second point can either take an entire map to push or an immediate push. There's very few times where it's, a slow push, or if you don't push it at all, or you push it instantly as a very, very snowbally point, because once the defense gets set up on top of ship, it becomes so hard. A nice pick on the door there from Elo, backed up by Kindness, as Cinnamon comes here. Grab comes out, Cinnamon missing these right clicks. Woody just winning this 1v1 pretty cleanly here, as Hamster Mochi got Artemis though, so both supports for Fuel are going to fall. A nice Solo Rocket there on to Hamster Mochi will get Woody a second pick here. Fuel try to keep this up. It's both DPS down for Boston University, but it's both supports down for Fuel. Artemis wants to keep this up as Scummy is in the neutral. The Sanctuary just a second too late from the side of Kindness as Fuel is going to stabilize here at second.
Yeah, Fuel just doing a really good job there. Woody, definitely showing up here on Soldier. I don't know why she's playing Sombra. She's making waves with that aim, but I think Fuel there just definitely came out on top. They just had more damage in that post-fight there than those supports, and doing a really good job of just holding great angles on them, forcing them to play around, and this Genji just isn't finding any picks onto this Soldier, and Door now on Reaper will be much harder to dive as well, forcing him to have to, play around a bit more awkward of those angles. Now Fuel here just keeping them at this point, looking to keep some cards from that bubble. We do see beat here from the side of Fuel. We've got Kitsune, we've got Visor, but you have Blade and of course Coalescence and Dominus alt there too. Have to see whether or not they could really kind of take space. Really, that's what they need. They need to take space. They need to get picks. Visor's coming out here with Kitsune Rush.
Rush plus Visor yet again, but they kite into this small room. Panopticon comes out alongside the Blade. Cinnamon just slashing at Argo, who ended up getting a nice beat off. It survived as Karma finds Woody, so it's a 1 for 0 so far for the side of Boston University. Door switches over to the Reaper. DP's in with that bubble, but he might just be in trouble here. Does get those Ofuda sent over to him via Artemis, because he will be able to be kept alive. He has his ult, he has a bubble. He's going to look to try to place it on point here as he finds one. But a nice Bola shot from Hamster Mochi means that they're going to find the trade. Karma and Simmer will find their own as the side of Boston University push through. 2 minutes on the clock to push third here.
Now third here is definitely going to be contentious.
I think what ended up happening was the Dominant ult actually caused the beat to only hit Argo.
Yeah, you get shielded.
I think he Dominant ulted right as he beated or something. So very, very good counter there on the Dominant ult by Elo, as they're going to be able to win that fight. Now it's up to Fuel to keep this hold going. Woody, a nice pick on a Hamster. Mochi is going to start this one off pretty well. 71 to the Mizuki to the Sanctuary here for Kindness. As a nice binding chain comes out, and Scummy extremely low in this main here. Falls to Elo as he just overextends. Elo though so low, the hats come out from Kindness as he keeps the healing up. Elo finds another, and it looks like Boston University might just cruise this cart on forward. Fuel. 1 fight left.
Yeah, I mean, that Domina there just has so much sustain if she can manage her cooldowns. It's
And the Bastion and the Ashe come out. A
But a
nice
great
grab
Mizuki ult here.
from the side of Fuel, but yeah, even better Sanctuary to respond to that one, as the Genji is just going to dash away. And again, this Genji has been such a problem for Fuel. It's really the only reason Boston University has been able to find success. But a nice play on Domina here by Elo, as well as Kindness, showing why Fuel banned that Mizuki last round. They come out on top here. We'll see if Fuel can get a full cap, as it's now Boston University's turn to defend.
And as well, Cinnamoroll, he's got that Ashe, he's got that Cassidy on defense, so it can definitely be a hard team to beat here. Both teams, though, really just being very back and forth when it comes to these fights. Hasn't really been kind of any guesswork, but going into this second half, like, what do you think Fuel needs to do to make sure that they're securing this?
I think you just need to, make sure your ults are being used at the same time. Obviously, in that fight, right? Second point fell because Argo's beat got covered by a Panopticon, which is very, very hard to deal with, right? Scummy, gonna switch over to, looks like he might be going towards the Diva. Not wanting to take this Zarya versus Domina mirror anymore. As, on attack, it's a lot harder to play these ground tanks, especially considering he won't have his double jump perk yet, right? He won't have his, extra jump perk, which is what Scummy loves to take on Gibraltar. Or an opening. It's going to be opening Widow, right? This is something you see a lot on Escort maps specifically. You see it a little bit on Hybrid as well, but mainly Escort, you'll see an opening attack Widow, just try to get that opening pick, because then it breaks the hold immediately, right? They are going to be expecting it. Hamster Mochi over towards the Sojourn here. Kindness is still in spawn. Kindness is going to be extremely late to this.
Yeah, I mean, potentially could be a tech issue. We don't know, but Fuel here just jumping out of the gate. Diva's just going to be forcing this Moira off high. This Fuel, not really much of a defense to come here. They're taking so much space.
Up here on top. Now he's forced to go back to the low ground. He's going to keep this up. Shield comes out from Domina, that barrier, as now the side of Woody. Woody's up here over on the stairs on high ground, just getting some threatening damage, but 36 health. Forced to run away. Genji, let's try to finish this off. A nice healing field. That biotic field will be able to keep her alive just a little bit longer, but a nice kill by Cinnamoroll as Fuel. All a little bit. Scummy looks to try to chase these trades. He does find one on a Hamster Mochi, so it's a 1-for-1. Both DPS fall, but Elo picks off Artemis. That's a crucial pick. Thor not found any success on this Widowmaker so far, just been shooting bodies. Finds a headshot onto the Domina, but you need one on to one of the carries. Misses the grapple there, as Thor looks to try to get some value here on this Widow, but it's struggling. That Genji should die in that room, as he is against 4 people. He does, but Elo trades out Scummy, who ended up losing his mech somehow.
Yeah, I mean, just kind of fell back. She was kind of stuck in that fight with that Sojourn and that Domina, so just unlucky. And now it's an awkward stagger here for Fuel. They're going to have to just sustain this out.
Switches over to the Sojourn. A little bit more consistent damage. Get the burst down. This Domina a little bit better, as means you can actually break this shield. You have more consistent damage. Hamster Mochi finds a nice pick onto Woody. That crystal charge from the Domina, so strong in these tight quarters. Has the Panopticon so quickly built. Fuel going to be struggling. They're fighting into a Panopticon here. They'll have a Kitsune coming up soon. Other than that, they don't have much. There is a Coalescence and a Panopticon for the side of Boston University, as they're looking to keep this one up. Scummy's fighting in this room yet again. Kindness rotates back, though. Uses that recall just to keep himself in this fight. Artemis, though, picked off Hamster Mochi. Elo finds Woody. 1-for-1 trades on both DPSs, as he Coalescence comes out. Door forced to dash back, try to find a trade on Cinnamoroll. He does. Scummy follows that one up. Elo, though, still here, untouched on this high ground. Fuel are in a struggling position. Karma gets traded. Trades are very favored for Fuel, as it's just Elo left alive. Scummy on the Diva, finding these kills, finding these trades, as Fuel will finally get the cart moving. But the side of Boston University should still have another fight.
Yeah, I mean, Boss has just done a great job of stalling Fuel on this first point. Very similar to the opposite of what happened in this first round, as Scummy's trying to really just take as much space. Does get that Diva bomb off.
To get his second life here, right, as he will be able to keep himself alive. Now, Kitsune Rush with his Diva on top means Kindness will fall immediately. Panopticon comes out, but I think it missed everyone, as Scummy is kept alive here. Woody pulls out that Tactical Visor just to secure this point. It may have been a little bit of an overinvestment, but you want to make sure you get through first point. You do not have any ults. You'll have an overclock of a beat. Inside of Boston University, they'll have a Blade, have a Sanctuary, you'll have an Overclock. The Blade can get countered out by the beat pretty cleanly by Argo here, so I'm expecting that as see Fuel in that fight. Nicely done, but Scummy is going to be still out of mech, so he has to get back in his mech ASAP, or else it might just be doomed for Fuel. Argo low here up in this room, down to 33 HP. He's forced to cover, to, you know, travel across the way. A nice Suzu comes out from Artemis to keep Woody alive, but Argo ended up falling still, so Fuel forced to reset.
Yeah, I mean, Cinnamon just doing a really good job of pressuring those DPS and keeping himself alive. It is so important to just having that backline pressure is so dangerous, especially with a D.Va who has to make that choice whether or not to dive in or save their supports. And now we do have an overclock for Boston if they want it. D.Va is coming up on her
Nice
bomb
opening
there.
pick by Hamster Mochi with that railgun up on top of the ship. Means that they don't need to invest it, but Artemis picks off Cimarol, so 1 for 1. They're going to have to look to invest ult now off of that. Likely going to see a clock come out for the side of Door. See if he can find these things as he shoots fish in a barrel. He looks to try to find some value, but he's just so forced to corral back towards this door. He has 1 shot left. Artemis, though, picks off Karma. His kindness ends up surviving there. Now Door forced out of this room, forced towards back. Artemis is here. The blade gets pulled, and there's no beat in response. Argo pulls it, but again, it's a second too late. It's been twice now where Artemis has fallen just before the beat from her support duo can come out, as Argo and Scummy going to look to keep this fight going. Scummy does have that remake, able to keep this one, you know, trying to keep it up, but the damage from the side of Boston University should be a little bit too strong. Bomb out for Scummy as he gets back into his mech yet again. The third remake of this fight. Fuel struggling. Now the Coalescence comes out.
Coalescence here in this corner, just going to flush that soldier off of that high ground and looking to just poke out as much more damage as they can get. This Reaper in the back line, trying to catch out this Genji, does TP up and is looking to pressure this in, but doesn't have an out at the moment.
Doesn't need it. He's willing to fight this out as Woody is backing him up. Woody picks off 2. Scummy picks up another, and Fuel broke this hold. Honestly, just completely dry. It feels like they should never have been able to stop that, as Boston University had 3 ult, but Fuel cruised to third point here. Because now the push is going to be favoring Boston University, especially if Artemis gets picked out in the neutral by Cinnamon. But Scummy has that, you know, that focus cannon perk. Absolutely beams kindness down, so 1 for 1 trade. Favoring even both teams ended up losing their support. Side of Fuel, you know, and Kiriko will be able to get back to the fight a little bit earlier. Woody's so low, sprints out. Yeah. Kitsune, you have that Kitsune and that
so important.
You have Kitsune, you have this visor, this combo that they've done so many times, but a beautiful Sanctuary is going to be enough as that push comes out from Elo. Door picks one off, but the overclock from Hamster Mochi is good, and it finds all the value needed for the side of Boston University as they kite out that ult combo from Fuel. Argo invested the beat too.
Late 10-2. I mean, just unfortunate. I think he's just got to be a bit more proactive in these beats. Seeing those ult come down regardless of kills should inform you that resources need to be put into it. But D.Va does have a good opportunity for you know, using bomb here. It is a bit of an open space. So I mean, and again, Visor, I think if they had gone for a different angle, would have gotten so much more value there.
Shield, yeah, the barrier array found so much value from the side of Boston University's Elo as Woody falls in that left room there. Now, Fuel to be in trouble as Elo and the rest of Boston University start to push forward. Karma switched over to the brig, just have a little bit more brawling power here as the Moira didn't have as much value. Now Elo finds a pick onto Scummy's mech, which means Scummy's likely just going to be forced to set a 67%, 78% to his ult here. He will be able to get back in that mech soon. Now Door looks to get a big Death Blossom here. It finds 3! Cinnamon finds the trade, but it might be too late. Cinnamon did find 2 though as Scummy fell, but with Elo falling, it's just Cinnamon Roll left alone as Argo chases him to the ends of the earth. Fuel, 26 seconds remain. They have 1 fight left. You have a D.Va Bomb. You have a Kitsune Rush. Woody coming up on that ult soon. But you're into 4 ults of Boston University.
They got to keep them. They got to play this smart. I don't know how they're going to do this. Got to stay on that point. They got to make sure it comes down.
There's no response yet as the rally comes out for Karma, and they should be able to kite this out. Now, Panopticon comes out. Well, Scummy and they go up in the air. Scummy, Poco Bomb finds 2 somehow as Door picks off the rest, and now it's just a 2. It's a
How
1v5 on point. The Sanctuary can't heal you through this, as somehow Fuel cap in overtime.
How?
I did not expect a bomb in the sky to get a 2K, but Scummy finds the crucial picks when it matters most, when it looks so dire for Fuel.
I mean, yeah, and especially with, I think one of Fuel's problems there on that last point is that they were so focused in that main lane, having to go into this brawl comp, having so much sustain, that they needed those picks, they needed those attacks, and just, Scummy there with that last moment, clutching up, getting those 2 DPS takes.
Yeah.
Well, allow them, they've kept themselves in this fight. They do have the disadvantage, though, with a minute less.
Scummy gonna go to his Zarya, because now, remember, we're in overtime, so everyone has all perks unlocked. So Scummy can get his jump perks. We can go up. Scummy now thinking about maybe going to the Sigma. It's strong in this early fight, right? Because you just win the poke war versus most champs, but it's gonna be hard. Scummy now going back to the D.Va. He's trying to decide what he wants to play. The rest of Fuel, I imagine Dora is gonna stick to this Reaper. It's kind of what's been finding him value. He hasn't really been winning out on the Soj duel. Didn't find any value from the Widow last time. So I think Fuel stick to this. It's Boston University. Why would they change? But Karma decides to stick to the Brig. Thinks it has a bit more value early on than the, than that Moira. It's more just to be able to peel kindness, right? It's that anti-dive tank for support where you can whip shot that D.Va away, as well as whip shot, that Reaper away a little bit. Reaper TPs into the small rune. Now the amp comes out for the side of Argo as they feel like they're going to keep fighting this, but D.Va's mech extremely low here. A nice Suzu from the side of Artemis, but side of Boston University are going to win out on that fight pretty cleanly. Now Scummy needs to get pocketed up just a little bit here, able to go back for another touch. But Fuel decides to just take this to the underpass. They go underneath, force the next fight from the draw. It's exactly what the side of Boston University decides to do. Barrier Ray comes down. Scummy forced out extremely far. He now looks to try to keep this up, but he's forced to D-mech. Fuel's push might just end, and the game just crashed. That's not. Oh, our game. Oh, wow.
I don't. Interesting.
What do they do?
Huh.
Huh.
I think maybe the Overwatch gods were on the side of Fuel there.
I'm actually really curious. No, wait. What is the situation?
I don't understand.
Can they remake the specific time? No, right?
Yeah, so. But what happens? Because they can't.
Yeah.
I think
I've never seen that one before.
I actively don't understand.
Don't tell me we're replaying a full map.
Are we? It's. But yeah, it's. But they have. I'm speechless.
I don't have. I don't know what. I'm assuming they're going to be
I don't
contacting.
think I've ever
NECC.
seen this before.
I imagine our team is going to be, or one of the teams are going to be contacting NECC admins to try to figure out what exactly the, the game plan is for this one, right? Because it was an overtime push, 20 seconds left on the cart here. You will
just intentionally
walk
it and then wait
crashes.
the timeout.
The game just crashes here as now. We
Yeah.
have some chats maybe from the side of. We had this issue last game. We played against our opponents.
And it's so
it looks like they are just going to be playing
remaking
the map fully.
That is.
Huh.
I guess we're going to be here a little bit longer.
You know what? I think now maybe Fuel ends this one here because 6 maps would be a decision. Kindness finds that pick onto Woody in the neutral as now Freya finds so much value.
That is crazy. Here Fuel just pushing these guys back, hopefully defendant under this overpass. They're not doing great on this defense there, but will get a pick on Hamster, trade it out to Door. Fuel here, having to deal with this D.Va up top can be definitely difficult. But now, again, I am also surprised they're not seeing the Sigma pick, because Sigma is a great counter into Genji.
Yeah, right?
Which...
Let's see. Well, it's hard. The rock counters the deflect, but outside of that, it's kind of...
But he has really good kill, confirmation.
Zarya is just a better counter to the Genji. 100%. The problem with Fuel is they just are unable to find these neutral picks. This defense is going a lot worse than the last one did. I think they'd like the replay undone.
I mean, but like, can they argue it?
No,
Right?
There's nothing to do about this. That is just an Overwatch bug. Door switches over to this Ash, finds a nice pick on the Kindness, coming up on this Bob as well. Hit scan, finding a lot of value. A nice boot from Argo to get Cinnamon Roll off of that high ground. As very, very low there is Argo, but he will, or actually Artemis is 1 HP inside the bubble, somehow kept alive as Door.
What a
Heals Cinnamon Roll off, gets that kill. Karma though, a nice trade onto Argo. Now Woody in danger, but ends up hitting those shots, finds Karma. As Fuel hold here on second. They're gonna look to try to keep this hold going. They're gonna
4
start to play
minutes
on top of the ship, try to get as much control as possible. I mean, again, on Visaria, so see as they're just 5 on this bridge. Nice pick by Woody there. A good headshot onto Cinnamon Roll will find that opening pick, and that means more time is bled off the clock of Boston University's attack.
Fuel here now sitting well with these ults, charging up. And you've got almost 4 here at this point compared to, as well, almost 4 for the side of Boston. I think it'll just come down to who plays it better.
Have this Kitsune, have this, have the ult here for Woody, right? Have that, doesn't matter. The visor just completely gets shut down by Elo, as Elo and Karma pick them off one by one with no ults. You know, you had a Bola shot coming by Hamster, but other than that, you invest 2 ults for Fuel and you get completely aced. Or Bob's to contest. Fuel not done with this one yet, but Woody might be done, and she's going to fall. Panopticon comes out, and that should spell doom. The beat comes out, but Scummy falls ahead, so it's just 3 members of Fuel left alone on point. Thor's gonna have to start to hit these shots if they want any hope of winning this one. As Thor will fall. Cinema Roll and Karma find their trades. Kindness as well, as 4 minutes and 40 seconds remain for Boston University to push third point.
I mean, Domina there, we saw, just has so much sustain, so much pressure in those close quarters. I mean, it's
He
just...
doesn't even take the sustain perk.
Yeah.
He's taking the perk where his left click is further range, rather than the perk where you gain like 300 health off of clicking right click.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, at this point, Fuel is, I think they just lost their rhythm, having to deal with that unfortunate technical difficulty. Now just coming in and playing into this coalescence here. Fuel just trying to stay alive. Can Door finish off this Freya? Unfortunately not. Nor the Mizuki in this fight does manage to
Freya
finally
didn't
get
get
her.
healing still? That's crazy.
That is very funny. And Mizuki will clear that out, and
They capped with 3 minutes and 48 seconds remaining.
compared to
A minute.
a minute, or sorry, 2 minutes,
No, they capped with they capped with 59 seconds.
1:59.
No, it goes to a minute after OT always gives you a minute if both teams cap. It adds on, so they capped with 59 seconds.
That is a good point. I didn't realize that part. Fuel here not looking great on Gibraltar.
No, it's a struggle
Signs
map
are
here.
pointing to a 5th map. Now,
What do you
that
mean
being
sixth
said,
map?
I think. Oh, sorry, you're
Yeah,
right.
sixth map,
Oh my
come on.
goodness.
This is the 5th map.
I mean, I think Fuel just need to take. I don't know if they can win this map, but I think they just need to take this time to reset. You know, we know that they have the ability to win. It's just very map dependent at this point.
Yeah, Fuel on attack here. Their defense just really, really struggling against this Boston University comp. They're just unable to find any answers. As we'll see if their attack can get this full cap right. They got the full cap, and they got one full, like pretty. You know, they was OT full cap. Maybe they'll recreate history and we'll have a 4-minute full cap here.
Yeah, and then will be 4 minutes to each side for OT as well. Yeah, I think everyone's feeling it here. Except for Boston for some reason.
I'm tired.
Hey, that's fair, you know. It was a freak accident, and there's not much you can do but press on.
Yeah.
And I think it is definitely a test of Fuel's resolve here.
Both teams resolved for sure, right? Both teams. That was basically, you know, it was still an even map, but it was definitely favored for Boston University there. Scummy switches to the Ram here.
What are you
as
on
Door.
Echo?
Somehow Elo is just dead before the fight even starts.
What?
To Door's Reaper. So, Fuel, they're just going to be able to push forward. Yeah, what do you know? Echo is the other pick that she has. You know, she's been practicing it. I like it a lot more as it's just a stronger character than the rest of her pool, to be honest, right now. Holding that recall, making sure that Mizuki does not come back. As Elo comes back on Diva, shreds Door easily. Cimarron now on the back line. A troublesome target here as Woody going to be zoning out, uses that beam, focusing beam, just try to get as much value. The bomb comes out onto that Genji, just barely keeps him alive as the side of Fuel struggle again. Again, Gummy forced to hold that right-click button, just keeping his arms up to try to survive through this, but the railgun of Hamster Mochi will be able to finish that one off. Argo forced to skate away here as he is going to fall. Late pick there, but Door a nice trade onto Karma.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Zarya pick here into this D.Va. I mean,
Yep, there it is.
yeah, like just coming out. Door does have Death Blossom at the moment, though. We are seeing as well Artemis potentially, if this fight can last. Death Blossom comes out, though.
No, she falls, but D.Va ends up surviving. If they find any more picks, they're going to need to. Nice, they get the D-Mech onto Elo there with Woody's focusing beam. The damage from Kindness coming in is very large, but it will fall as the full cap, or the first point caps
Moira.
Fuel. Fuel cap first point a lot faster as well. Artemis in a little bit of trouble, but his trade gets covered by their team there as Fuel look to keep this push going. 4 minutes and 38 seconds as they cap first point.
Is this just an attacker-sided map? I mean, it seems like both teams that it isn't a skill issue. It's just
I'd say it with the changes, it's a little more. You know, it was fair. It was very, very defense-sided before. Now the changes, it's a little bit more even. I think it's still defense-sided, though. I haven't played. Gibraltar's never picked in my games. People just love King's Row too much.
Sounds like my ACAT
Gonna
team.
get that thing out of my way, please. I hate Kings.
Well,
Hamster Mochi switches over to Cassidy, finds two there in the with that Kitsune rush from Artemis, just finding no value. 3 picks for Hamster Mochi here as the Cassidy switch, finding a lot of value. Now you have this Sanctuary and you have a Blade. Did invest that invest the Coalescence here for Karma. A late trade onto Woody though by Cinema Roll.
not a great stagger.
Does not have the copy here. We'll have the copy coming up as well as has a beat for Argo. Thor coming up on another Death Blossom. Scummy as well getting close to that Graviton. This copy, I'm expecting a copy onto the D.Va. I think that's probably your best target here.
D.Va.
Unless her Genji is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
It is a copy to the D.Va as Woody comes out here. And now there's a second tank on point, but just gets instantly bursted down. But has 3 lives to play with. Remember, make it 4 lives. Why not? Or
nasty.
kicks off 2 with that Death Blossom. Woody just buys so much time with this copy. D.Va keeps the team alive. Door finds these picks. Woody now in this room. I don't think you want to be in a tight room against Elo on D.Va as Fuel forced to reset despite the fact that they found so many picks as the trades came out in favor of Boston University.
I mean, D.Va just keeping herself alive on this.
How is that repo?
So much damage. Door here as well, just keeping themselves in this fight as we have Blade coming up here. But we have
response,
Grav.
but Door just gets 2 picks in the neutral again.
But
The flanking Reaper. As he lived that last fight, he was able to stay in a nice position. Cimarron now forced to back off. Elo Bomb comes out for Elo just to get a second life. Almost gets bursted down, but that Demek is instantly removed as Fuel look to cruise to 3rd point here as they get through 2nd. It was a little slower than the side of Boston University, but it still is before, you know,
definitely better than.
and 43 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see it come down to a minute, maybe a minute 30 if they play well here. As Fuel here now having to, they've got great ults here. And I mean, Boston's just been sitting on this.
I'm loving the Echo Switch because
Yeah.
it allows you to pressure out the tank a lot more. It also allows you to be able to match this Genji. As a Blade is just grabbed here by the side of Scummy, but the kills aren't coming in. Instead, the High Noon subs out. He just didn't have damage.
What?
The Coalescence from Karma kept them all alive. Scummy and Door found some nice trades. It's a 2v3 here as Door. Scummy looks to keep this going. Kitsune rush invested by Artemis. They do not want to give this one up. Suzu last second to keep them alive, but the damage is just not there. Kitsune may have been wasted as Elo and Kindness kite that one out beautifully, and now the ult economy for Fuel might just be in trouble.
The DPS just getting shredded the second they walked in. Woody, unfortunately, just staying in main as Echo. Unfortunate reset force here for Fuel, costing so much time.
Does Karma have the perk where you can make the Coalescence full healing? Because it felt like that's the amount of healing that I saw just come out, pumped in to there as now hamster emoji over towards the Emra, a little bit better in the neutral than that Cassidy's going to be, especially with the longer sight lines here. Now Door picks off Cinema Roll. A nice opening pick for the side of Fuel. Elo I'm in trouble here. The Bastion switch from Woody, just getting more consistent damage. Cinema Roll gets 2 though. It's kind of Cinema hamster emoji finish those off. Door gonna fall here unless those Afudas can get there in time. They do look to be able to, as Artemis keeps this up. But that crystal charge does so much, and Fuel struggling here to push through this 3rd point.
They're just not being able to access that back line. Like they're investing so many resources to plow through Boston's front line, but this Domina is just untouchable. She's keeping herself alive for every fight.
Switch back to the Ram here for Scummy. It's what broke Domina on this 1st point, right? It's been counter watch here for the tanks for sure, as Woody now has that ultimate. The Bastion pulls out this tank core and looks to try to get some damage done. And Bastion just struggles when they can kite you out like this, as she's going to be stuck in the room. Uses that ult just to get that overhealth. Door and Scummy found the trades though onto the backline of Boston University. As the Kitsune comes in the end,
they have to
Elo
this Domina.
Forced to fall. As Fuel look to bring this one forward. There will be a touch though for the side of Boston University. It's likely going to be Cinema Roll who's going to be tasked with that one, or Karma, I imagine. As you see the Sanctuary come out here in spawn, but that doesn't do anything when the Reaper is inside already, and they don't even touch the point. Argo and Woody stop them from touching the point. It's a minute versus 3 minutes and 53 seconds though. Fuel at a deficit.
I mean, Emre, unfortunately, that ult just went above the site instead of on it, and that Domina just ulted a bit too late onto that Reaper. I mean, I don't know whether or not she had the charge there, but Fuel managed to touch, which means they'll get themselves back up to a minute here, but against 4 minutes will be tough.
Now, the first time we saw Fuel's defense, they held 1st point the best, right? Their 2nd and 3rd point kind of fell apart, but their 1st point held for a pretty decent chunk. They need to recreate that because they're up against 4 minutes of push. But it's their attack first. We'll see if they can break Boston University's attack yet again. I imagine Boston University is going to be careful of a Reaper walking into the backline and just one-shotting one of them this time.
Yeah.
That's what Door found success on. Woody back over to the Soldier. Scummy switching right over to the Ram, trying to find as much value on this Ram as it's been the counter to the Domina so far, as you're able to punch through that barrier array.
I'm surprised we're not seeing Bastion on defense here too. I mean, Woody very good at getting these picks, but I think this Domina is such a threat. You know, a bit less there because you have that Ram, because of that breakthrough. But I mean, this is just going to be a battle of attrition for Fuel.
Fuel on attack. 1 minute left, or 1 minute remain. Seeing if they can find it. Reaper, he's up into the small room already, looking to take these fights. The Scummy, AFK on point, starts to push this out. Now the poke comes out, nice barrier. Try to buy as much time. Remember, all perks are unlocked now, so every player is as strong as they can be.
Fuel here doing a good job of just keeping them off of the cart, getting so much space, but they're now going to have to deal with the dive down, and unfortunately, attack from both sides can be difficult. Dominic here as well, so strong in this tight corridor, gets so much value out of her crystal.
Got a lot of push though already. The side of Boston University giving up so much meterage, which now means if they win this fight, it's going to be the full point cap as Door picks off Cinema Roll. A big pick there as they look to keep this going. Door TP's up, but that Sojourn has double slides, so you're not going to find too much value. Door playing on top of here just starts to force into Elo. Extremely low, but a nice push out means that they're going to be playing. Are they going to be able to retest this? It looks like they will. Barrier Ray comes out. Nice Suzu, though, onto Scummy. Keeps him alive, but he needs to be kept pocket up. He's so low. As he's coming up on this Annihilation, Fuel got the cap.
Fuel here now with an opportunity to keep themselves alive, but Karma's going to catch Door. Woody's going to trade Cinnamon, and now
Door might have to come back on a fast hero. I don't know if he plays Tracer or anything, but that would be what I would expect. As Elo just going to fall, though. Fuel look to keep this fight going. Now the Coalescence comes out, and Woody will fall, but the rest of Fuel look to keep this up. Now Artemis falls as well. This Coalescence finding so much value from Karma here, but Scummy has this Annihilation on point. Karma will fall eventually. But the spawns are going to be favoring the side of Boston University. Bastion here, trying to punch down Scummy, who pops the Annihilation, but it is wasted as he only finds one.
Unfortunate Coalescence, or Annihilation there is now, he's a bit low on his cooldowns, but that will be the Visor coming out. Great pick there.
as they pop this visor and they look to keep this pushing, and it feels like second point has fallen
Fuel.
by the wayside. This overtime push for Fuel has been unstoppable. They just don't have an
Insane.
answer to the Ramontra's point presence, and Thor on this Reaper is such a problem in the backline. Now Fuel did not get the full cap yet, but the Diva demeched. The beat is here for Argo in case they use any ultimates, but what do they have other than an overclock? The cap comes in yet again as Fuel look to keep this up. Scummy finds 2 trades.
my
Thor
goodness.
finds another, but he falls as Kindness gets a crucial trade, but they can stagger out Elo here if they so choose.
Fuel here wants to keep
Remex though.
this fight here. I mean, I think it might have been a bit of a mistake there to allow that Diva to get back, as she's going to have the ability to go around the back of the map here and get back with her team. Fuel here have Death Blossom coming back into this fight, and they have beat for sustain.
Thor gonna have to get back though quickly before his team can start the fight. Have this beat,
Early
early beat
beat.
from Argo. I like it. They use this beat as a rush. It finally gave the
And-
edge to all 4 members, but Dor falls before he in Death Blossom. Elo as well falls to Woody, falls to Elo as the Bastion ult comes down and rains artillery from above. Fuel's push stopped 57.47 meters into 3rd point. But what a push off
I
of a
gotta
minute.
give it to him.
That
That
is, they have completely set it up for them to take this map.
I mean, that 4 minutes, you know, Fuel, I think they were on that point for, I think, 6 or potentially 8 minutes. But but regardless, you know, I think props to them. They show that even on their weak side, they can still show up. It just comes down to those characters. It comes down to strategy at the end of the day. And Fuel here now on the defense.
But they're happy, right? The vibe
Yeah.
switch in this room is completely different.
Definitely.
Artem, they're
Especially-
smiling now because they were not feeling very
Uh-uh.
happy when, you know, they got full capped. But here, I mean, what a push. They just need to hold Boston University on any of these points here. And I think they have the
Yeah.
ability to do it, as they may have found the answer to the Domino. This Ram has been a real problem for Elo.
Definitely. I mean, forcing her to switch off to, I mean, we're seeing just the same cycle of Domina.
I like Hamster Mochi's idea of going Freya on the attack, finding a lot of value. I just feel like you could also run it on the defense if you wanted to, but it decides to go for the Soj to try to get a little bit more value, but it doesn't find it. Again, Fuel here, looking for as much as they can find.
Or here as well with that Reaper, just very good against that Genji, keeping that sustain in those dives. Genji, they're taking a bunch of damage, having to waste Reflect early, which is a great use of util. And Woody here, being able to peek over that Domino wall will allow for so much value, but they are still sitting
Woody
not
is down
great.
to 13 HP off of that damage,
Domina.
and that will be a easy tracking there. Woody just straight lining it is going to get picked off by Elo, and now Fuel will be in trouble. Woody's going to be forced to come back on probably a fast here. I imagine they want to keep this hold going, as instead just going to stick to the Reaper. Doesn't play the Tracer. Echo doesn't really have as much value in this type of angle. Now Door try to keep this neutral up. This Reaper and this Ram are so strong in this neutral here. Woody comes back, picks off Hamster Mochi. A nice Suzu to stop that crystal charge means Scummy and Woody will be able to stabilize here. As Fuel stabilize under here, and they'll be able to keep this forward hold now.
Just a minute
As
down.
A minute fully burnt off the clock here for the side of Boston University. As they look to keep this up. Ults, they're gonna have an Annihilation and a Death Blossom sometime soon. The support ults, you're gonna have a pretty big advantage on, you know, your protection ult, right, with the beat. But Artemis can be a little bit behind that Coalescence. It's the fastest building support ult in the game after all. But it doesn't have as much impact as this rush we've seen. We've seen really good rushes. We've seen some rough rushes as well. Have to see a big one here for Fuel on top of the visor from Woody, likely, as you see those blades come out from the side of Kindness on this Mizuki, doing as much value as possible. Now, they have to kite this out if Fuel wants any hope. They're going to have to, but they can't, as Artemis falls, and every single member of Fuel will fall to the Coalescence. It's not as strong an ult, but if it's uncontested by anything, it's going to be more than enough for Boston University cap here.
Yeah.
As
I think they definitely came out and caught them right before they got their ults. Just really good, lucky timing there in that fight. But here's the thing. Boston doesn't get extra time on these
OT,
caps.
right? They don't get any extra time, so the clock keeps on ticking down. Fuel needs to hold on second here, but Woody, early pick by Elo, is not going to be the way to do it. As forced to fight this close range here now.
Let's see Annihilation
has
here,
this.
too.
He has this ult.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna pull out the Nemesis form. Now, Reaper, Thor gonna maybe get the better of it, but a double slide. Juking out Door, but Hamster Mochi will fall. Panopticon comes out as Scummy keeps himself alive. He did invest that Annihilation, as you mentioned. Woody and Door find their picks as Fuel look to have stabilized Karma, though. Another pick onto Woody.
Man, and they have 3 ults coming into this fight with only 1 on the, or sorry, probably around 3 on the side of Boston.
Maybe
here.
two, you know, this Moira will build her ult pretty quickly. Maybe the clock will be built pretty quick. They'll really just be this Death Blossom and this Sanctuary. Sanctuary is gonna be a really good counter to the tactical the Visor, right? But it's gonna be struggled against the Death Blossom as if you're inside of it. You don't get healed that much, honestly. As Door TP's over and he's just gonna look to threaten out Fade Force, and he's also gonna force the recall from the side of this Mizuki. Door low here is going to have to be pocketed up by the side of Artemis. That's exactly that. Now, the Death Blossom comes out for Cinder Roll, but a nice beat response by Argo.
Into the
all 5
Coalescence.
into the ultimate of Door. The Death Blossom finds one, but Elo finds a nice trade. Argo, though, picks up Karma. Cinna finds Door. It's 2 for 2 trades through and through, but Scummy finds Cinema Roll as they keep alive, but the supports of Fuel are still pumping in the healing. Scummy versus Elo, but Elo is forced to D-Mech here as Artemis just keeps the healing up and does not stop. Door rotates back and will be able to stop this as Fuel take the series 3-1 and send Boston University home and bring Fuel up 4-1 in their standings, likely to clinch playoffs off of that one.
Folks, what a match.
The world's longest Gibraltar, I think.
I mean, Fuel there, the ups and downs, the roller coaster of emotions that they went through from, you know, struggling on defense to coming through. I mean, who knows if they would have been able to get the win on the other series, but they just got that momentum. They stuck it out. They persevered as a team. And I think, a very well-deserved win.
Yeah, very, very well-deserved win. They really figured out the answer on their fourth attack, right? On the 4th attack, man, did they solve
4
it.
times the charm, right?
The first 3, they were struggling, but the Ram really tore apart the side of Boston University, as well as Door just uncontested on this Reaper. Fuel domination there in that last bit. I mean, that overtime push is a miracle. Is so well done. And then to be able to stop them on second point when you've been unable to stop on second point whatsoever throughout the entire map. Honestly, I forgot what happened on the rest of the map. I mean, you wouldn't remember that that New Junk City was a 300-0, would you?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
How close that map was.
Yeah.
5-4, but honestly, dude, what was it? It was...
I mean, if we're thinking about it, it was probably...
like 9-7?
Yeah, they got like...
I think, right? Or 8-7? I don't know.
Or
Very,
maybe
very close. But
yeah,
what a series by both teams there.
I think,
Fuel.
yeah.
Come out on top. I mean, I don't know about you, but I definitely want to see if we can chat with one of the players, get an insight on how they found the success and what really went down after, you know, that pause, after that weird breakage. But we'll have to take a short break before that, so don't go anywhere.
I close my eyes, it's not a dream. There's so much more that I can get. Let me wonder what we could have been. I swear that I couldn't keep. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 There's so much more that I can get. Let me wander when we go to bed. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I wanna smile that I couldn't get. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. I close my eyes, it's not a dream. 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 Money got me like. Money got me like.
Welcome back, everybody. We are joined by Artemis, the flex support for our team for Fuel Esports after a 3-1 win. How are you feeling after that one?
Pretty good, honestly. That was really fun. I had a lot of fun with that game.
I know
I
we
mean-
had a lot of fun. Gibraltar took about 80 minutes, I think, but, you know.
Yeah, the servers decided that they didn't want us to finish that map and wanted to give us a redo on Gibraltar for some reason, but I'll take it.
Yeah.
What do you think? What was going through your guys' mind when that happens, right? When you realize, oh, we got to replay a whole map again. The one we're losing on, especially, right?
Yeah. We actually ended up talking about that. I told the team. Oh wow, you can actually see people fall through the map.
Right to the replay.
I told the team, I was like, look, that map didn't happen. Like, just play our game. This is a fresh start. We just gotta start again, pretend like nothing ever happened, go from there.
Yeah, and as well, I'm curious about like Esperanza with, unfortunately losing that Malga duel. What kind of was like, you came back in New York City and stomped, but I'm curious, what was kind of the twist in the mentality at that point?
Well, we had a bit of a reflection period between the two maps because we realized that, especially towards the end, we started wandering around and not really playing the game as a team. So after we had that reflection, the team talk being like, okay, we're playing a brawl-centered comp. We need to play like it. We need to play like a team. We got to play together. And after we had that conversation, we were like, oh, okay, that makes more sense. And we just turned on our brains a little bit.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a team game. Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
you-
who would've thought?
Would you say like, what do you think set you guys apart specifically from your opponents today?
I think it's just we've been playing for so long, honestly. Like with all of us, like I've been on a team with Scummy for 2 years, Dora for 3, Woody for a year, Spark for 3 at this point. Like I've been on a team with these people for so long. I would say we have a lot of synergy. So I think it just ultimately comes down to the fact our team cohesion's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about now being almost guaranteed a spot in playoffs with all of your 4, justifiable wins with those other 2?
All 4 very real wins.
Yeah, the
Right?
2 that we
Exactly.
totally won. for sure.
Actually, I'm curious. How did it feel to finally get to play, a serious
An actual game.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt great. Being able to sit down and actually play with my friends and like the feeling of victory when you're playing with your friends. You can't describe that.
Yeah. And then, one last thing, because I just want to know, how happy were you when you didn't have to play Kiri?
Oh, I actually threw my hands in the air.
When I
was
saw
so
Kiri, man, I
happy.
knew you got to cheer.
Oh my god! I literally put my hands in the air and I was like, I'm free! I'm free from Kiriko jail!
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for giving us that insight. We're going to take a quick look here at the schedule for our upcoming week here.
Yeah, we have tomorrow. We have some League of Legends CLOL playoffs. Fuel Esports versus Roosevelt Lakers. I'm actually playing in that one for some reason.
That's
so
right. You'll see.
yeah, that's
Newt.
weird. Yeah, I'm not casting
Actually,
it.
is that like the first time this year that you'll be?
Yes, that is the first time I've been playing on a
That's
stream at least.
exciting.
I've played a series, I think, but I haven't. Then Monday you'll have some R6. Tuesday you'll be having some Valorant likely. Wednesday some COD. Thursday some Rocket League. Friday some Overwatch. You'll see this group yet again. And then maybe next Saturday we'll be seeing some more League, depending on how that playoffs ends up going.
Yeah,
But make sure you follow all of our socials, Fanshawe Fuel, everywhere to keep up to date with all of our games, all of our teams. When you can see our Overwatch team play next, when any of our teams will be playing, when you can see us cast again. I've been Newt.
I've been Godly Parrot,
And I'm Artemis.
and thank you so much for watching.